Go. Hello, and welcome back to the Fire Emblem Sacred Stones playthrough with me, the Jonin Monkey.
And me, Sven the Crusader.
Right here. Now, yes, once again, we're carrying on with this suicidal plan of invading a fort with only 4 people running low on supplies, and somehow it's succeeding.
Oh, yeah. That just shows you how good Grotto's selection methods are.
Yeah. Apparently, actually thinking about it, if we remember what it said in the cutscene last, these are all meant to be mercenaries, so it probably shows how stingy Gardo is and nothing else.
Yeah, either that... Yeah, that does work, because these have to be the cheapest mercenaries in the land.
Oh god, yes. Now, we could go for these guys who are really good. I know if I'm taking down entire armies of just 2 of them, but that would require paying more, and I have a yacht I need to get to. I don't know why I said it, but...
Apparently there are more worthwhile ways to spend 5,000 gold.
Yeah. I think
But
that's...
they just managed to slip up on that, on the idea of national protection.
Yeah. And, yeah, same as last time. Oh, Onos is managing to resist enemy attacks. And what you've just seen there is because, yeah, basically, this chapter would have taken up another 2 parts if I had just let it play on its own, so I've decided to just cut it down to key moments. So, yeah, right now I'm just I don't know how to deal with the... Sorry, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. Basically, I'm just showing you how to deal with each individual bit. Like, for this moment, it's better to just have the soldiers on standby waiting for the attack from the top right-hand corner of the screen. And like here, we're having Oranos just... Oh, what was his name? I forget. Also, I forget his name now. This is so embarrassing.
I had a sudden lapse of thinking there for a minute. Whose name are we forgetting again?
The Paladin. 4-day! Sorry. Yeah, 4-day's not on good form. Although... I mean, I know it's weapon triangle, but come on, there's like 80% of these guys, and the soldiers are like the weakest grunts ever.
Yeah, not one of his better days.
No. And just when I was having fun mocking Sven for his Gilliam affair.
It's pretty sad whenever Ephraim's making better progress than you are.
Yeah, that's true. Although, to be fair, Ephraim's got a lot less to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Shaman's attack looked menacing, but against Orson, that's his name, against Orson's near godlike defense, all attacks are impossible to hit now.
Yeah, I thought Seth was the meat shield.
Well, to be fair, Orson can actually stand up to something unlike Seth. Sorry if I offended anyone with that comment, but... And there we have the Shaman again. Yeah, this corridor, the reason why I've kept all this in is basically because this very thin and narrow corridor is actually kind of dangerous because not only is that Shaman coming up in the middle, there's also a heck of a load of magic users on the other side in the big square room in the middle who will attack you through the walls, so it's better to leave that job to whoever has the javelin, basically.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the javelin itself doesn't have very many uses, so if you constantly abuse it, you may... Well, it will end up being used... Sorry. It'll end up breaking, and you'll be left without a projectile weapon, basically.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to have happen in a corridor like this.
Yeah. And so, yeah, everyone else I'm kind of moving out of harm's way of the magic attacks. Except for Emphraim, who I'm having finishing off a horse. Just because he's a glory hog, basically.
Yeah. as most lords are.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he basically just ran off and then decided to invade another person's country when when the first invasion happened, basically. And yeah, we've got through that corridor. Now, trust me, you haven't missed much. It was basically them moving down to take care of a couple of axe users and Orson desperately trying to catch up.
Yeah, we're kind of miles ahead of him right now.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like Erika's like Erika's rapier, Ephraim's lance can be used to take care of armored guys like the knights. Although you don't have to worry about them so much because there's only like one armored guy in this chapter.
Yeah.
And other magic users can just be taken care of with basic weapons. In fact, to be honest, the knights are only really the high defensive enemies in this particular map. Everything else can be taken out with basic weaponry. Which is just as well as their very little supplies. The powers of editing. To think, without it you would have to be sitting here watching me make decisions and defeat minor enemies over and over again.
Yeah, and I'd actually gasp, have to think of something to say.
Yeah, this bit's kind of interesting here. I'm giving them and handing all the inventory that Orson has, including a kill lancer Ephraim. Unfortunately, the Ephraim's not skilled enough with lances to use it just yet. Basically, every time you use a weapon, the character's, I don't know what it's quite called, skill with a weapon goes up. And in terms of ranks, A, B, C, D, etc. Right now, Ephraim's on D, we're trying to get him up to C.
Yeah. I don't really understand why there's weapon levels, because does it make sense that you couldn't use a weapon just because you don't know?
Well,
what sense did that sentence just make?
Yeah, it was perfectly alright. I think, to be fair though, it's kind of sort of based around sort of the caliber of weapons using. I mean, to be fair, I think it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this now. Oh man, my sentences aren't making sense anymore. None of our sentences are correct.
Oh jeez, it's contagious.
Yeah. Basically, I think it's basically handling different caliber of weapons, and plus, it's one of those things that's more of a gameplay mechanic than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, it would be kind of stupid if every single character could just use, like, the legendary weapons instantly.
Yeah, that would be kind of broken.
Yeah. And here we have Zonta. Cocky mercenary. Yeah, they kind of have the same problem Cloud Strife has with, the fact that they carry a big sword that's clearly compensating for something.
Yeah, not so cocky anymore.
Yeah. Well, no one's cocky when you spun a lance round and had it go for the stomach. Alrighty. Yes. And to think, they've managed to get through this in one chapter. Hurrah!
With 4 people.
Hurrah! They decided... Okay, yeah, basically what's happening now is Ephraim saying, right, we are now going to move on to Gardo Keep, which is the main castle. Unfortunately, Ephraim hasn't fought it through, and now there's an entire army surrounding them.
Yeah. Who didn't
Okay, say it with me now. Well done, Ephraim, you
Oh, I was off timing there.
Ah, well, never mind. Maybe the audience joined in, who knows. And so, for anyone who's traditional with these kind of fantasy storylines, this is the traditional bad guys taunting the enemy and asking him to surrender, see?
Yeah, except this one is just creepy.
Yeah. He's so creepy, he's not actually looking directly at Ephraim when he's talking to him. I've never really got that about some of the character sprites in the Fire Emblem series, because some of them look They look like they're looking directly at the person. Some of them are like Balto, are just looking behind them. Who are they looking to? Is it? Ephraim, I am not taking you seriously. That's why I'm staring at the shrubbery. That now occupies my interest.
I find the shrubbery more interesting than your stupidity and planning.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're running out of time, and so is Ephraim by the looks of it, as he's firing a mad suicidal charge through an army much larger than his. So, that was me, the Jonin Monkey,
Sven the Crusader.
saying, well done, Ephraim. Now you're gonna die. Cheerio.